Many of us are already making our 2023 New Year resolution or setting goals for 2023. And I am here to give you 10 tips to help you set goals for 2023 and crush those goals. The first tip will be for you to set time aside to set your goals, right? So this can look like taking a break from social media, allocating a day or two just for you to focus on those goals. Focus, be in that mindset, be in a place of solitude. You can also set goals with friends. So you can also set time aside with friends to plan your 2020. Tip number 2 will be for you to visualize 2020. Visualization exercise has this benefit of helping us to tap into our imagination with no judgment, just to use the power of our imagination to dream and to think of what the year could look like for you. So as you set time aside before you get into setting goals or before you write anything, take a moment to visualize what you want 2023 could look like. And this is not about you controlling anything, but this could look like closing your eyes for a few moments and letting 2023 come to you. What does it look like? What does it feel like? Are there any feelings that comes in that moment? And if 2023 could say it to you in that moment, what would it say to you? So this is really great. And I like the power of visualization where we get to use our imagination with no inhibitions, no fear, just going straight into dreaming and focusing on our mind on what 2023 could look like. The next step will be for you to set an intention. When you look at the definition of intention, it says that what one intends to bring or do, a nation to act a certain way, the object of which prayer is offered. So, what do you intend to do or bring in 2023? What is your determination for 2023? This looks different for each person. My nation may not be the same determination for you. For me, how I'm going to set intention for 2023 is I'm choosing 5 words. These are words that I used for 2022 that I felt like there is still more that I need to get out of these words. So I chose those 5 words to anchor me or to center me for 2023. Everything that I do in 2023 is gonna be around those words. So whether it's an opportunity that comes my way, I go back to those words and I measure the opportunity by those words. Does this opportunity align with my intention or what I want to do for 2023? So do that. You could choose a specific word, you could choose an emotion, you could choose an area of your life that you want to be the focus. All of those things, like I said, it's going to look different for each person. So before you go into writing anything down, please set an intention. The next thing will be for you to set SMART goals. We could have goals or these ideas in our mind that is very vague, it's very general, that we don't know when we are going to achieve it by. It could look like I want to be happy, I want to eat healthy, I want to start a business, or one day I hope to start a business. When we set SMART goals, we are using SMART, which means it's specific, it's measurable, it's achievable or attainable, it's realistic and relevant, and then it's time bound. So, in terms of, let's say your goal is, oh, I want to be happy, be really specific. What does happiness mean to you? Is happiness that maybe you want to learn 5 coping skills or you want to try out one new thing every month? So, it could be like, for SMART goals, it could be I want to try out one new activity each month by the first quarter. So you see, we have it. It's very specific, it's measurable, it's attainable or achievable. It is relevant to this big goal of being happy, and it is realistic, right? You're not setting a goal like, oh, I want to try 10 new activities if you know that your time and what you have to do, that's not going to make room for that. So you're setting the goal of one which is very realistic to you, and then it's time bound. So by the first quarter, which is March 30th, 2023. So you want to do that by that. So use the SMART method to set SMART goals. So the next one is related to setting SMART goals, or what I've talked about. It's about breaking things down, right? Breaking goals down into very smaller goals. So this could look like, with the first goal that I talked about, that I want to try out a new activity each month by the first quarter. Breaking it down into smaller goals or smaller steps is that, what is it going to take you to try out this new activity each month? Does that mean that you have to do your research to know the activities in your area or in your neighborhood? Do you have to do the research to know what kind of activities are there? Or even, does that mean that you have to sit down and reflect and know that, okay, what kind of activities have I tried? What am I hoping to try? So those are you really breaking down this bigger goal into smaller goals or smaller steps. So each time you achieve something, let's say each time you Google and you do the research around you, you could take it out. That's a goal that you have achieved. And that goal is a step towards the bigger goal, or towards your quarter goal of starting a new app. So the next tip is identify your resources. So what goals that you set for 2023, by the resources that you have that's going to help you achieve these goals. This could be the people in your community, financial resources, skills that you have, all these things. So identify them. And now with social media and Google, there are so many resources out there. So identify the resources that you have, and also the resources that's going to help you achieve these goals. So an example is, if you want to try out a new activity each month, and let's say the activity is to travel, then you have a friend or a family member who travels a lot. They could be somebody that you could talk to, that you could ask them maybe about tickets, about airfares, all of those things that could help you to travel. And then on social media, you can also follow pages that talk about traveling or that discuss traveling. And that is a resource that you can use to achieve your goals. Tip number 7, identify and acknowledge your limitation. This can be hard for us. This can be a hard one, to acknowledge the things that we don't know, or our limitation. Some of us are recovering perfectionists. Perfectionists, we want everything. We want to know that we know everything, or we want to make sure that we are in charge, or we are in control of everything. But that's not realistic. So acknowledge your limitation. Acknowledge that I don't know this, or I don't have all that it takes to achieve these goals. Do you know what that does? That really helps you to accept your limitation, but it also helps you to know what to ask for, or what help you need, and who to ask that help for. So acknowledge your limitations. Know what you don't know what you don't have, all of those things. And that's great to help you achieve those goals, because there's no helping, or there is no benefit in pretending that you know everything when you don't know everything. Then who is going to help you? So identify and acknowledge that you don't know, or you have limitations. Ooh, I love tip number 8, the therapist. I say that make room for yourself when you're setting goals, right? Make room for self-care, make room for wellness. Do not wait until something bad happens, because that's often what we do. And that's what self-care is not about. Self-care is not about waiting until the moment of crisis to now think, how am I going to take care of myself? No. Self-care is a day process. It's the little things that we do each day, so that when those moments of crisis come, when those moments of tragedy come, we already have the skills, or we already have the tools, or we are already engaging in this self-care activity, so the impact will not be that. So as you are setting these goals, you're using SMART goals, you're setting time aside for yourself. Make room for self-care. Put yourself on your calendar. Put yourself in your 2023 plan. Put yourself in there. What are you going to do for yourself, right? Is it taking a day off from work each month? Is it using a mental health day each month? All of those things. Is it going to therapy? Is it self-improvement? Well, you could check out my tips on finding a therapist. All of these things can help you achieve your overall goal so that when all these plans that you are making, whether it's financial plans and all of that, you will be in the headspace or you will be in the mindset to enjoy the things that you are working for. So please, as a therapist, I cannot stress this enough. Make room for yourself. Put yourself on your 2023 plans. Tip number 9 is related to tip number 8, and that is reward yourself. I'm not talking about some big fancy reward. No, I'm just talking about it could be as little as words of affirmation to yourself when you take a step to achieving your goal. Like, oh, did this, proud of myself, right? You know yourself better, so you know those rewards that you can use. So put in those reward yourself, tell people about it. Sometimes we don't do that enough. Tell people about it. We are so hard on ourselves that I'm sure if you missed something or if something didn't go as you wanted it to, you'll be so focused on that while forgetting all these great things that you've done. So plan again. Be intentional. Be intentional about rewarding yourself. Be intentional about rewarding yourself, whether every month you reward yourself, every quarter you reward yourself. Do these things. Integrate them into your goals, into your 2023 plan. Before we get to the 10th goal, I want us to, think about or recap what we've talked about a little bit, right? So we are talking about setting goals and achieving your goals for 2023. And the first thing that I talked about was for you to set some time aside for yourself, right? The second thing was for you to visualize 2023. Use visualization, mindfulness visualization to visualize what 2023 is going to look like for you. The third thing that I talked about was setting an intention, being really intentional about 2023. What is going to be your focus, or what is going to be the words that are going to guide you for 2023. The fourth thing that I talked about was using SMART goals or setting SMART goals. And then we talked about the fifth thing, which is breaking your goals down into smaller steps or into smaller goals, and then knowing your resources. From knowing your resources, we also talked about knowing your limitations, knowing what you don't know or knowing what you don't have. And then I talked about putting your on your calendar. Add yourself to your plan. When you're planning for 2023, put yourself on there. Put your self-care on there. And then tip number 9 was for you to reward. Now I'm getting to tip number 10, and that is make room for uncertainty. If there is anything this past year has taught us, is the uncertainty of life. Life is so uncertain that we could plan and plan and plan, and sometimes our plan is not going to go the way that we plan. So make room for that, knowing that that's what's certain about life. The uncertainty about life is one thing that is certain about life, that these goals will not or may not go as you plan, and that is fine. That is completely fine. So anchor yourself in that as you're planning, that it may not go as you planned, because there are so many things that are out of your control, and that is completely fine. That is the human experience that we are all having. Now I want to hear from you. What tips do you have? Put it in the comment section so that we could all learn together. What is your planning like? How do you get these tips? Put it in the comment sections so that we can all learn together. That's what community is about, learning from each other, using each other's knowledge, all of those things. So let me know in the comment section what you use, what tips you use as you plan for the new year. So, as I always say, have a great week on purpose. And this one, I would say, have a great holidays on purpose. All right. Have a great holidays on purpose. I will be taking a break from posting videos until the new year. I'm also going to set my goals. I'm also going to take some time for myself and set goals. And then I will come into the new year with a fresh perspective, rejuvenated spirit, replenished, all of that. And you can also put in the comment sections what topics you want me to talk about. What topics about mental health, wellness do you want to hear or do you want me to talk about? And as always, please subscribe to this channel, share with friends and family, invite people to come so that we could all learn